If you've got an MGHS, imagine having the ability to put all this extra information on your car's infotainment screen. It's just a matter of having some extra software that's used in conjunction with Android Auto and also some extra software on your phone to make it all happen. This video shows you how to do it all. With the system switched on, like that, and I take a cable that's plugged into the, you can't see there because it's too dark, the second USB port, right, the one with a separate writing on it, and I'll plug my phone into, in, right, and then it comes up and says Android Auto starting. Right. The screen goes blank for a second, and that screen changes, and it comes up with my Android Auto functionality. Right. Just by the way, I'm going to turn the air conditioning heating off. Right. I have to press the button there. Right. Takes that long to get to the thing, and I turn off the air conditioning so there's no sound. Alright, to get back to Android Auto, you can either press the home button and then slide those items across and go to Android Auto, right? Or if I was using, by the way, that's in dark mode at the moment because the car lights are on, because I'm in the carport and it thinks it's dark in the carport. Or alternately, if I was at the home screen then, I've got it set up so when I press this button on the steering wheel, right, if I press it, it goes into Android Auto, right. Okay, that's one thing I hate about Android Auto. It starts up like that and all the information's covered up. Switch it off. Right. One little advantage of Android Auto that probably some people may not be aware of, okay, you can actually change the settings. One of the settings is to go into satellite mode. Alright? When you do that, you get a satellite view of the thing. You can't do that with a normal GPS that's built into the car. Okay. Alright, that's Android Auto. You may have noticed some icons which are the apps that are running in Android Auto. For example, I can press that one. Right, and it takes me to the favourites on my mobile phone. So I don't have to actually do that. I can actually say on the phone to ring someone and it will talk and ring it. Let's see if it actually works. So we'll just go back to the Android Auto main screen. By the way, that's another screen. Alright, I'll just come out of that one. Alright, and I'll say,
sorry, I didn't understand.
Sometimes it doesn't understand. Hey Google, ring home.
Okay, calling home.
Alright, another little thing I've got that's different to a lot of people on Android Auto, this one here. This is called, here's another little app that I installed on my phone. It's called Screen to Auto, if that focuses. Okay, Screen to Auto. And on Android Auto, because I've set it up, it's also got Screen to Auto. If I press the button there on my phone, it comes up and says Start Now. If I press Start Now, if I press that button, what's on my phone screen, which is down there, is now on that screen. If I turn the phone sideways, right, like that, that comes up there. So what's on my phone screen, right, down there, is coming up on the car screen, right? It's called Screen to Auto. However, there's also some extra little features in Screen to Auto, right, which is, unfortunately, I've got to set it every single time, Screen to Auto on my phone under Other Options, other settings. There's called Alternative Touch. If I switch that on, I have to go into Settings, and under Settings, I have to go into, right down the bottom of that is Downloaded Apps, and under Downloaded Apps, it's got screen to auto, and on screen to auto have to switch on use screen to auto. Right. Now that that's on, right, and I press the home button here, turn my phone sideways again, right, and then look up at the screen, I can now use my finger on the car screen to start various functions, right? So anything that's on my phone is now coming up on the screen. For a couple of examples, right, I use this program, which is called Aussie Explorer. The advantage of this program is it's a program which allows me to do not satellite navigation, but mapping, right? And I can have multiple page menus. For example, go to a page menu page that I've set up, right? Okay, so there it is. And I can have multiple maps. That's another map, 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 that's another map. These are all different maps, and these are maps that I have downloaded from the internet, right? And not only does it show you those maps, and as you're travelling along, it doesn't do navigation. But also you can design your own screens. For example, this screen here is a screen that I designed, right? It didn't come with the software. And it's got things in like, you know, I can have a dial to say how fast I'm going. I have an average speed. It knows where I am. It shows a diagram of showing where I've been in the past. If I press the home button, which is not the home button on the thing, but the home button on your phone, right? Or the what's the name button, I can shift around applications. Another application that I have, which is called Talk. Right? Oh, by the way, halfway through doing this, it'll come up with a message saying you got to put it back to the screen again. So I've got to start now again. All right, and then it will come up. All right. And I've also got to tell it yet again to switch on the function so I can operate it from the screen. Okay. All right. And I'll put it sideways. All right. Okay. What I was talking about before, which is a program. The Talk program, when I switch it on, gives me these sorts of things. Right. Talk program does a thing called OD. That's ODB. I don't know what it stands for. And it's a little device that plugs in just underneath the dash, under the steering wheel, and allows you to collect information about what's happening in the car. And then you can use the Talk program to display it on the screen as shown here. Or ODC, I forget what it's called. And you can set up your own gauges any way you like. There's one that I've set up saying this is everything to do with the electric engine, and this is to do with the petrol engine, all right? How much power there is, what RPM I'm doing, what position there is on the throttle. If I put my foot on the throttle now, you notice the throttle goes down, okay? What the motor temperature is, which is 0 because the motor's not on, what the maximum torque is. The same thing, the torque for the petrol engine, what the coolant temperature is, okay? How much the turbo is boosting, what the petrol revs are, okay, and what the power is putting out, what the total odometer is. And by the way, all this is fully configurable. You can change it around. There's just mess around ones I've done. All you do to put a new one in is hold your finger there. It's not going to work. Yeah, add a display. Right. You can have different types of displays, all sorts of things. You can configure it yourself. But the thing is, I have that on my screen. I have that on the car screen, right? Other than the fact that it switches off every minute or so. That's it. Okay, there's just a couple of things you can do with Android Auto and this screen to auto. Have what's on your phone screen appearing what's on the car screen, and that gives you lots of big advantages. Basically, if I knew all the codes for everything that's on the dash there, I could have over there if I wanted to, just in a different format. If I don't like the layout, I can put them in the middle, on the side, up the top, at the bottom, anything I like. Okay, that's it. Notice I've got two things plugged into my USB port. an ordinary USB cable, which is plugged into that one, which is the special one, which allows me to use my Android Auto. So I'll put that back in, but I can basically see it. Can't. All right. And an ordinary USB stick. All right. And on that USB stick is some music, some pictures, and some videos. Now, normally, when you're driving along, you can't watch those videos. However, even though I'm not driving along at the moment, I'm not going to do this as I'm driving along. If I go into videos, all right. Okay. General safety provision. It's just in other countries. There's a video that I previously made. Let's go to another video. Let's go to another video. There we are. It's one of the kids' videos.
Hello, friends! Wave your hand and say hello! Hello!
So I can play that video while I'm driving. The reason I'm going to do that, I went into engineering mode and changed it so you can play videos while you're driving, which you should never look at while you're driving, but there's no reason why the passenger that's sitting there couldn't be watching a video and I'm not looking at it. I suppose some people say a video is a distraction. I reckon personally that all that menu is a distraction as well, all right? Especially it's got things popping up on it and stuff like that. Anyway, just showing that can be done.